Suntup alongside Andrew Gayo. And Andrew, Wayne Hills, they've already won 2 road games in this state tournament, but tonight they have a totally different task at hand. They're facing a Ramapo team that is 26-2 on the season and just won the Bergen County tournament on Sunday.
Yeah, they're playing them. They're 26-2, but what Hills has in their favor is they've seen them twice already, and last time according to athletic director for Wayne Hills, Joe Askelis, they could have won the game. So they're familiar with this team. And the other 2 teams they had to play Lakeland on the road. They had to play Sparta on the road. They were not familiar with them. They're not in the same league, but they know these Ramapo Green Raiders. They played them. A lot of these seniors have played them for 4 years now. They know this team.
Wayne Hills, first round of the state tournament, they won in Sparta by 9. On Thursday, they knocked off the 2-seed Lakeland in overtime, 60-53. Holly Bastick, a huge game, 23 points. How much confidence do you think those 2 road wins gives Wayne Hills coming into this game? Because you know here at Ramapo, it's going to be a very hostile environment.
Well, Sparta definitely gave them confidence because Sparta is pretty far away. It's probably an hour ride on the bus, and to go on an hour bus ride and then to go play is pretty difficult in itself. So the Sparta win is nice, but the Lakeland win especially, Lakeland had the number 2 seed in the county tournament before losing to PCT. And even though Lakeland was without Jessica Janos, it's still a huge win to go to Wanacue and to beat Lakeland on their home court. So the confidence level is riding high for the Patriots.
Andrew, you touched on this before. Wayne Hills has already played Ramapo 2 times, but they lost both games, including a 16-point defeat here back on January 6th. What do you think Wayne Hills has to do to beat Ramapo this time around? And what do you think the Patriots have learned since those first 2 meetings?
They're going to have to hold Sarah Halegian. It's that simple. She has scored over 500 points for this team this season alone. So the girl can just throw up shots. I believe she has 31 3-pointers on the season, so she could take it in, she could take it out, and she could shoot from the foul line. So they're going to have to go a box and 1 probably on her and shut her down in order to give themselves a chance to win.
Andrew, thank you very much. Don't go away because tip-off from Ramapo in a moment. Welcome back into the gymnasium here at Ramapo High School. If you're just joining us, North 1 Group 3 state sectional semifinal matchup between the visiting Wayne Hills Patriots and the Green Raiders of Ramapo. I'm David Suntup, joined by Andrew Gayo. And Andrew, if Wayne Hills wants any chance at an upset tonight, Holly Bastick needs to have a huge game. She came up big at Lakeland when the Patriots needed her. She scored the first basket in overtime, which really propelled this Patriots team, and she'll have to do it again tonight if Wayne Hills has any desire to advance.
Well, absolutely. Holly's been here for 4 years. She's been a mainstay in the starting lineup, but also she's been hampered by an injury for the past month or 2, which affected her in the county tournament. So obviously there was no signs of that injury affecting her in the Lakeland game. So we'll see tonight if it's going to hurt her at all.
Greenwald for Wayne Hills and Mitchell for Ramapo to jump. Wayne Hills has not beaten Ramapo since December 15, 2006. That came in this gymnasium, actually, opening game of the 06-07 season. As we're underway, as Greenwald wins the tip, Sullivan, top of the key. Higgins tries to go down out to Bastick as ball tipped out of bounds. Wayne Hills will throw it in as Wills to throw it in for the Patriots. Bastick, baseline jumper, air ball, rebounded by Greenwald. Greenwald falls down as they're going to call a foul on Ramapo. Be their first.
And that's what they're going to have to do, Dave. They're going to have to give the ball down low to Bastick and force fouls so that they can get to the free throw line.
Yeah, they're going to have to be aggressive. They're going to have to attack them and try to get easy baskets. Wills to inbounds. Wills looking around the court. Inbounds to Sullivan. Sullivan tries to swing it. Pass picked off there by Klee. As Halegian off the glass for the deuce. As Sarah Halegian gets Ramapo on the board here as the Raiders take a 2-0 lead.
And after Halegian's basket, the Raiders go immediately into the full court press. But the Patriots have seen it the whole year. As Coach Vinnie Porter said after the Lakeland game, the interviewer actually asked them about the full court pressure, and Coach Vinnie Porter said, we play in the NBIL. We face the Pascagoula Valleys, the Pascagoula Hills, the Rampos, the Oltepans, the Fairlawns. We see this all the time. It's nothing new to us.
And also, last year when Wayne Hills played Ramapo in the first round of the Northland Group 3 state tournament, Ramapo brought the pressure often, so Wayne Hills knows that this Ramapo team very aggressive.
And they're going to be patient, the Patriots. They're going to move the ball around. Coach Vinnie Porter stresses the ball movement and the flex offense, so they're going to move the ball around.
Higgins, baseline jumper, no good. As the ball bounces around, rebounded there by Wills. Good hustle there by Wills to scoop up the rebound. Hills cross court. Bastink drives baseline as they're going to say that she stepped on the ad line. So it'll be Ramapo ball. Already 2 turnovers here for Wayne Hills in the early going.
I already like the early aggression, though. Erica Wills crashing the boards as the Ramapo Raiders kind of just stood there waiting for the ball, and Wills took advantage and grabbed the rebound, and they restarted the Patriot offense.
As Drewing around the screen. Klee, free throw line. Actually, Klee dribbles, drives in, as Halegian picks it up. Drewing being defended by Wills. Mitchell, as Ramapo swings it around. Ramapo taking their time here, being patient. Halegian scored 19 points in each game against Wayne Hills this year. As the pass inside, as the layup missed there by Amanda Scolassi. As Wills brings it up, top of the key. Higgins, right wing, being defended by Drewing. Sullivan tries to pass it inside the green wall as the pass picked off there by Halegian. Halegian has numbers to Drewing. Drewing, as she's fouled there by Sullivan, so Anna Drewing will go to the line for 2.
And the Patriots have to be a little more careful on offense because Lauren Sullivan turned over the ball there, and it led to the Ramapo running the fast break, and now Drewing's at the line for 2 shots, so the Patriots need to be more careful with the basketball.
And we've seen this from this Wayne Hills team this year. They've started off slowly in some games against Wayne Valley in the county game as the first free throw by Drewing off the front with no good. In the county game against Wayne Valley, Wayne Hills started off slowly in the first half, down by 5, came back to win. And in the state tournament against Lakeland, at the end of the game, last 2 minutes, Wayne Hills, they had a big lead. They let it slip away, had to win that game in overtime. The second free throw off the front, no good, as Scolassi and Greenwald fight for the rebound. It will stay Ramapo possessions. It's the possession arrow in favor of the Green Raiders.
Even though Bridget blocks them out there, that's a good job. They send them to the free throw line. They miss both shots, but they cannot rely on them to miss free throws consistently.
Collegiate inside to Drewing. Drewing, no good off the glass. Rebound there by Bastink as Ramapo full court pressure. Sullivan's going to need some help. Good job there by Bastink to get open. Bastink, top of the key. Wills. Sullivan facing the double team. Good defense by Ramapo. They're going to say that she stepped out of bounds. The second time Wayne Hills stepped out of bounds already, and less than 4 minutes into the game. So Coach Porta can't be happy with these turnovers. Already 4 for Wayne Hills.
No, but I think what they have to do to break the pressure is keep Bastnik in the middle past half court so they can throw the ball to her. She's a big body.
As Drewing nails the 3 from the top of the key. Ramapo now up 5-0, 5:08 remaining in the first quarter. As Greenwald to Sullivan, as a nice job there by the Patriots to break the press.
And Sandy Gordon, only her second year here. She was a star here at Ramapo in the 80s. She's really turned around the girls basketball program. I mean, they were always a contender, but she turned them from a contender status to a real powerhouse.
Well, we saw it last year because we broadcasted 2 Wayne Hills Ramapo games. We saw that this was a very young Ramapo team, but a ton of talent. As Will's trying to find someone to inbound the ball to us. Sullivan, a nice job getting open. Sullivan being defended by Halegian. Sullivan gets it across midcourt to Greenwald. Passes off to Wills. Wills, top of the key. Higgins. Wayne Hills sticks it out. Wills, 3 from the top of the key. Air ball, no good. Out of bounds. It'll be Ramapo ball.
If Hills wants to shoot the 3, though, Wills is the girl to go to. She leads the team with 29 3-pointers on the year. So Erica Wills, even though she's a sophomore, she stepped up in a leadership role early on in her Patriot career.
Like you just mentioned, only a sophomore. She's had a huge year for this Wayne Hills team, and she's one of the main reasons why the Patriots have been able to be so successful this year. As Halegian nails the jumper from the right elbow, gives Ramapo a 7-0 lead. As Ramapo not letting up with the pressure. Sullivan to Wills. Wills gets it across the midcourt line.
And Wayne Hill's doing what I told them not to do. They cannot enable Sarah Halegian to take wide open jumpers. And obviously the pressure is frustrating them because they keep on turning over the ball, but fortunately right here the referees called it that Wayne Hills will retain possession.
And sure, Halegian, she's a great player. County tournament final, scored 12 or 17 points in the fourth quarter. Ramapo beat St. Mary's to win the Bergen County Championship. But there's other players on this Ramapo team that could get the job done. freshmen. You look at the center, Kelly Mitchell, Anna Drewing, one of the guards, Emma Giedrich, one of the forwards. There's so many players on this Ramapo team, like I said, but it's a very deep squad. As Klee pushing the tempo, thought about it, passes up. Halegian, top of the arc, 3 off the front of the rim, no good. As Sullivan loses the ball as she shoves Drewing in the back. They're going to call, we'll see what the call is.
It's going to be a foul on Sullivan.
Yeah, I thought that the ref was going to call a foul. Just wanted to make sure. As Sam Litsky into the game for the Patriots, replacing Lauren Sullivan.
And right now, that's a smart move by Coach Vinnie Porter. Take out Lauren Sullivan. She's flustered. That was an unnecessary foul there. Take her out, cool her down. She's their team. She's the point guard. Need to get her rested up.
Halegian, top of the key. Klee, 3, off back iron, no good. Rebound there by Mitchell as she is fouled. We'll see who the foul is on, either Bastink or Wills.
It's going to be on Bastink, but the Patriots really have to do a better job of switching up because that was a wide open 3. Actually, it was on Wills, but that was a wide open shot there by Klee, and they cannot let those open shots happen. And once the open shots happen, the boxing out was not even evident as they crashed the boards and got the rebound, and now they're at the foul line.
As Mitchell knocks down the first of 2 from the line, Ramapo an 8-0 advantage over Wayne Hills. 3 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the first quarter of action. Second of 2 on the way. As Mitchell knocks down a pair of free throws, gives the Green Raiders a 9-0 lead. As Coach Porter is going to call timeout, he wants to talk things over.
Good time to talk things over because right now this is the worst start Wayne Hills could have asked for. They came out here, they're flat, they're not doing anything on offense, and they're not even getting the ball down low to Holly. So they're going to have to rechange their game plan quickly if they want to get a chance to stay in this game.
Well, I think the main thing for Wayne Hills is that Ramapo is tiring them out with all that pressure because once Wayne Hills gets into their sets, they're being careless with the basketball and they're turning the ball over. So you have to give credit to Ramapo because they're playing very well on defense.
But I think it's inexcusable for Wayne Hills not to get the ball down low because when Ramapo's on defense, they are in a 3-2 zone, so there's less people down low. So they must find a way to get the ball down low into Holly to work down underneath the basket.
Well, if Wayne Hills, like we said before in the pregame, if Wayne Hills wants to come away with a victory here at Ramapo, Holly Bastink needs to have a huge game, and they need to get her the ball. But the one thing for Wayne Hills, I've seen Ramapo so far in this game, they've been trapping whoever has been getting the ball down low and in the corners. So Wayne Hills, if they have a shot, they're going to have to take it. But if not, they're going to have to find someone on the perimeter that they can kick the ball out to.
And I think that's a reason why they put Sam Litsky in, because Litsky, even though she's a freshman, had 9 3-pointers on the year, so she's an outside threat. And even though Lauren Sullivan's the better point guard, Litsky right now is the better outside shooter. So it's a good job to cool Sullivan down and to get Litsky into the game and get some scorers in.
As Bastink gets it into Higgins, as the pass picked off by Halegian. Halegian baseline jumper off the rim, no good. Fight for the ball. As nice job by Higgins coming up the rebound, but she passes the ball through the legs of Litsky, so it will stay Ramapo ball.
And I think it's just sloppiness right now. They look like they're flustered and they're not calm. They have to cool down a little bit and slow the game down.
Sam Litsky, the younger sister of Allison Litsky, as a jumper by Mitchell, no good. Rebound there by Litsky as the freshman brings the ball up the court. Litsky to Greenwald. Greenwald top of the key. Looking for someone to pass to as Litsky loses the ball. As ball loose on the court. Good job by Higgins to scoop it up.
And Wayne Hills has to slow it down and set up a play here. They have to get on the board before the first quarter expires.
As Wayne Hills goes down low to Greenwald, it's going to call a travel as Greenwald moved her right foot, which is her pivot foot.
And I like this move by Coach Vinnie Porter to put pressure, to kind of change the tempo for Wayne Hills instead of going back into a lax defense.
Yeah, good move by Coach Porter because maybe this will tire out Ramapo a little bit when Ramapo tries to press. Coach Porter, first season as the varsity head coach. He was the freshman head coach for a long time. He's done a great job with this Wayne Hills team this year. Pelagian uses a screen on the baseline, pops a jumper, no good. Rebound there by Litsky. As Litsky takes it around, Litsky off the glass, no good. As the ball out of bounds, it will stay Wayne Hills' ball.
I like that move by Sam Litsky, though, to take the off dribble off of Halegian and drive to the hoop, possibly try to draw a foul on Halegian next time.
Definitely, you have to get Halegian in foul trouble. If you're Wayne Hills, you want to tire out Halegian any way possible and hopefully get her in foul trouble. Litsky being guarded by Halegian. Taking her time. 1:55 remaining in the first quarter as a kickball there on Drewing. But 1:54 remaining in the first quarter. Wayne Hills down 9-0. Wayne Hills comes in at 17-10. Ramapo at 26-2. As Willis having trouble finding someone to pass the ball to, as they're going to call a 5-second violation on the Patriots.
And they're going to definitely use the break between the first and second quarters to relax. Coach Porta has to, because this Patriot team is flustered right now. They're coming out not playing their typical basketball.
Klee uses a screen from Mitchell. Klee thought about taking the elbow jumper, but passes up the shot. Halegian top of the key to Drewing. Drewing to Mitchell. Legion directing the offense. Drewing being defended by Wills. Shalaski to Klee. 1:20 remaining in the first quarter. Klee, baseline jumper, drains it. Ramapo goes up 11-0 after the jumper by Klee. 1:11 remaining in the first quarter, and the Green Raiders still bringing the pressure. It's a pass by Greenwald, tips right into the hands of Basting. Wayne Hills has to get on the cross. Very close to a 10-second violation. As the ball on the ground, jump ball, possession arrow in favor of the Patriots.
And the Patriots can use this break because they need to relax. They're down 11-0. There's 55 seconds left. Try to get the last shot and get points on the board so they can get some momentum into the second half.
As Wills to inbound for Wayne Hills, throws it in the backcourt to Greenwald, and you are allowed to do that at inbounds play for anyone watching at home. 50 seconds here remaining in the first quarter. Ramp up 11-0. As Wills passes out of the trap. Greenwald, left elbow back to Wills. Wills to Higgins. Higgins, long jumper off the back iron, no good. Rebound to Halegian. As Halegian surveys the court, drives around Wills, goes up and drains the J. Sarah Halegian draining the J, driving past Erica Wills as Ramapo takes a 13-0 lead. Less than 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Litsky being defended out on the perimeter by Mitchell. As the pass, or actually the ball stolen from Litsky as Halegian off the glass, doesn't get the layups to go, but she'll go on the line for two. So Ramapo a chance to add on to their 13-0 lead with 7.9 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
Nightmare first quarter for the Patriots, but Halegian's almost automatic from the free throw line. So smart play there by Litsky to eliminate the layup, but Halegian's phenomenal from the free throw line.
As the first shot on the way, as she drains it, nothing but net there for Halegian. And we saw Halegian last year when we did the Northbound Group 3 state playoff game, the first round against Wayne Hills. She hit some huge free throws down the stretch. Second one on the way, off the rim, no good. Rebound by Greenwald. 7 seconds here in the first quarter. Wayne Hills needs to get the ball quick. Wills being guarded by Halegian. Wills shot blocked by Halegian, and that will do it here for the first quarter of action from Ramapo High School, as the Ramapo Raiders have a 14-0 edge over the Wayne Hills Patriots. And Andrew, if you talked to Coach Porta before this game, things couldn't have gotten much worse for Wayne Hills.
No, they did everything that they weren't supposed to do. They succumbed to Ramapo's pressure on the offensive side, and on defense, Sarah Halegian was getting open shots. Samantha Klee was getting open shots. They were just not playing smart basketball, and on offense, they were turning over the ball. It was just a mess overall, and they should use this break to calm down and try to get a good second quarter so they can go into halftime at least to cut the deficit in half.
Well, one thing that I will bring up is that this Wayne Hills team, they will not fold. In their last game against Lakeland in the quarterfinals, they had a 51-42 lead with about 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter of that game. Gave up the lead. Lakeland went on an 11-2 run to close the game. And then Wayne Hills came out in overtime, and they were a totally different team. They dominated overtime, outscoring Lakeland 7-0 and winning that game 60-53. So if there's one thing that we learned about this Patriots team, it might be a young squad, but it's also a very tough squad. They're not going to just lay down.
And especially, we mentioned young, a plethora of freshmen and sophomores contribute on this team, and Christy Cherub, number 45, a freshman's in, so Vinny Porter wants some toughness on defense and a tough factor on offense as well in the game.
As Klee goes around Cherub, Pelagian, Drewing on the wing, pump fakes, drives, kicks out. Klee being defended by Cherub. Pelagian uses a screen from Drewing. Drewing pops off the screen down low. As the shot no good by Emma Giedrich. 7:24 remaining in the second quarter. Wayne Hills down 14-0. As jump ball, possession arrow in favor of the Patriots, and Ramapo being very aggressive on defense.
Yeah, they still are being aggressive, but you saw there Wayne Hills played good defense, and they brought the ball up court quickly, which disabled the press.
Bastic inside Greenwald, no good. As that's pretty much the best shot that Wayne Hills has gotten here so far, besides the layup missed by Litsky. But if Wayne Hills wants to compete with a team like Ramapo, and you get shots under the basket, gotta knock those down. That's one thing that Wayne Hills will tell you. As the shot put up by Giedrich, as Giedrich puts it home for the Green Raiders. Ramapo now up 16-0. It's Bastink, Sullivan, as she gets it across midcourt. Cherub, as Drewing knocks it out of bounds. Wayne Hills will inbound right in front of the Ramapo bench.
They're going to have to score quickly, Dave, because they can't go too much longer without any points for the game.
Especially when you go on the road into a hostile environment. This is a very hostile environment. Definitely a place that gives Ramapo an advantage. A very cozy place. Not only stands on the side, but also stands behind one of the baskets. As another turnover there by the Patriots. But when you come into an arena like this, you have to get out to a quick start. And that's the one thing that Wayne Hills has not done. They've dug themselves a deep hole. Pelagian kicks it out. Giedrich off the glass, no good. Rebounded there by Greenwald. Sullivan being defended by Klee. Good defense by Klee. Gets it across. Cherub as a shot blocked by Giedrich. Ramapo has numbers as Klee. No good, as Klee was all alone as the layup off the side of the rim. As Klee not happy for herself after missing that layup.
Klee should not be, but then right after that she went and fouled Erica Wills. So what she did wrong was she misses the layup, yes, but then she goes and puts another foul. So she basically did a double negative.
5:57 remaining in the second quarter. Wayne Hills trailing Ramapo 16-0. It's not been a good start for the Patriots. They've been marred by turnovers, missed shots around the basket, and not being able to get the ball down low to Holly Bastink. Bastink on the perimeter. Sullivan being defended by Klee. Wills, top of the key. Sullivan tries to get down to Greenwald. Ball stolen, picked up by Klee. As Klee had Drewing on the left side, but decides to slow it down. Drewing thought about a shot, passes it up. Klee pump fakes, drives, puts it off the glass, no good. But she's fouled there. She'll go on the line for two.
And the Patriots are just not playing good defense whatsoever. They're letting the players drive, such as Klee right there, slash right to the middle of the basket, and it almost was an and one, as I thought that ball had a chance of falling into the basket.
I thought it was in two, but she had a little too much on it, but at the line for a pair. Wayne Hills down 16-0, 5:24 remaining in the second quarter as the first shot from Klee off the rim, no good. As Coach Porter calls a timeout, smart timeout by the first-year Wayne Hills coach to try to calm down his young team.
Yes, he's got to calm them down, but he's also got to fire them up because they're looking dead out there. They're not doing anything whatsoever on the offensive side and the defensive side, so he's got to initiate a spark. So I wouldn't say calm them down. I'd try to pump them up right now.
Well, they definitely have to do something. I mean, Holly Bastink, I believe she has not attempted a shot yet in this game.
No, the only thing that she did, she drove baseline, but she was called out of bounds. So, yeah, she hasn't even taken a field goal attempt, and halfway through the second quarter, you don't want that happening, especially when you have no points on the board. You don't want your best player to not take a shot.
This Same Wayne Hills team lost to Ramapo in the first round of the Northland Group 3 state tournament last year, 40-35. Wayne Hills has dropped their last 6 to Ramapo. So do you think maybe that's getting in the heads of the Patriots a little bit?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just that they've come out and they're playing sloppy. They know this game is enormous, so I think that the younger players are succumbing to the pressure just a little bit.
As the second free throw by Klee off the front, no good. Good hustle by Ramapo. As the shot there by Giedrich off the glass, no good. Out of bounds, Wayne Hills ball. As Ramapo, full court pressure once again. That's what they've been doing the whole game as Basting gets it into Sullivan. Sullivan up the court as Sullivan, high layup off the glass. It's good. Lauren Sullivan finally gets the Patriots onto the board. 11 minutes into this game, Wayne Hills trails 16-2 with just over 5 minutes remaining.
And that's the momentum boost they needed. Sullivan drove to the hoop, made a nice move off the glass, 4-2. Now that has to translate over to the defensive side.
Klee, wide open 3, top of the key, off the side of the rim, no good. Rebound there by Basting. Good job by Basting to fight for the rebound and get it for Wayne Hills. Sherrup, pump fakes, baseline. Passes off to Litsky. Litsky off the glass, no good. Gets a rebound, puts it up, off that guy, no good. Rebound by Grewell. Grewell puts it off the glass for the twos and the foul. Great job there by the Patriots, crashing the offensive glass, and it results in a Bridget Greenwald layup.
And Greenwald, that's her bread and butter right there, to pick up the garbage and then put it back up into the basket and to draw the foul. So this is a huge free throw coming from Bridget Greenwald in order to keep the momentum alive for the Patriots.
So Wayne Hills now down 12, 16-4 rather, with 4:32 remaining in the first half. As Greenwald trying to complete the three-point play as the high free throw off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound to Ramapo. Drewing. As Halegian, being defended by Sullivan, drives. Dribbles it out. Drewing. Tough defense there by Litsky as she falls down. No foul called. As a great defense there by Holly Basting to force the traveling violation. So a turnover there by Erin Hogan as the Wayne Hills faithful starting to get into it here, chanting, "You can't do that." As a long pass down court to Litsky as Litsky loses the ball, but she gets shoved from behind there by Anna Drewing.
So Wayne Hills right now is doing exactly what they want to do. They're kind of putting that flustering job onto Ramapo, what Ramapo was doing to them early in the game.
So just over 4 minutes left as Litsky down low to Basting as Basting drains the jumper from the baseline as Wayne Hills has now gone on a 6-0 run as they trail by 10. 3:50 remaining here in the first half. Wayne Hills down at 16-6. And now we're joined by the third member of our broadcast team now in the booth, John Vittas. So John, I know you just arrived here at Ramapo Arena, but what do you think so far of the Patriots' play?
Well, I walked in here, Dave, just a few minutes ago, and I was shocked to see this score. Wayne Hills was shut out when I got here. I couldn't believe that. In the second quarter, I think they're going to have to go down low to Bridget Greenwald and Holly Basting and establish what they've been doing well all season.
As Sherrup down the court, layup, nothing but air there as it will be Ramapo ball. But if I'm Wayne Hills, you've got some baskets on offense now. I would try to slow down the tempo, do what you do best on offense, get the ball down low to Basting. If she doesn't have everything, as Sarah Halegian steps out of bounds, it'll be Wayne Hills' ball. But if Basting is double team down low, kick it out, look for Erica Wills. Well, actually, Wills not in the game now. She just came out of the game. But look for Erica Wills or Lauren Sullivan or Litsky out there in the perimeter and see if they can knock it down from long range.
I don't know what the referees were doing there, Dave, because it was supposed to be Wayne Hill's ball. They said it was out of bounds on Halegian. So I'm not sure what's going on, but Dave, I disagree. I think they should go to the fast break. I think they have to put the pressure on and get up-tempo because their half-court offense was not doing anything against Ramapo.
Well, I agree with you there. If they have the opportunities, definitely push it. But if it's not there, like on that last play of Sharp, just slow it down, wait for everyone else to get back in the offensive zone, and be patient. As it is Wayno's ball, the referees correct their mistake. They're not going to put time back on the clock, though. I don't know if they corrected themselves with the time left in the first half. Litsky being defended by Halegian. Cherub being double teamed as Ramapo bringing the pressure on defense as Cherub. It's going to be a jump ball. Ramapo possession since the possession error in favor of the Green Raiders.
And they can't, the bottom line is they cannot give the ball in the corners, Wayne Hills, because the corner pressure is impeccable right now for Ramapo. They cannot give, Wayne Hills cannot continue to put the ball in the corners because they're going to lose the ball on turnovers.
As Ramapo breaks the press, Dre Wing, free throw line jumper off glass, no good. As like you said, Andrew, Wayne Hills trying to push the tempo here. Sullivan controls the ball. Basting thought about taking a three. Litsky, three from the right wing, off the front rim, no good. Goes over the backboard, out of bounds, Ramapo ball.
Well, Dave, I don't think Wayne Hills is going to have to resort to taking threes at this point. Obviously, it's just the first half, and they only have 6 points, but the good news is Ramapo only has 18, so down by 12. That's not a margin that they won't be able to
As
overcome.
Ramapo breaks the press,
the lead is,
and Drewing, the underhand layup for the deuce as Drewing lays it in. As Ramapo now on top, 20-6, 2:27 here remaining in the first half. As Cherub cross midcourt, pass too high for Greenwald to handle. She gets it back as it's tipped back into play by Ramapo. She goes off the glass for the deuce. A great job there by Bridget Greenwald to recover the ball as it's tipped back into the court by Ramapo and go off the glass for two.
Very acrobatic play.
As Halegian finds O'Hagan down low as O'Hagan fouled. She'll go to the line for two.
And right now, Dave, Wayne Hills is playing much better offense, but it seems that they're not getting back on defense, and Ramapo's trying to push the ball up court quickly, and that's Christy Cherub's second foul. So Wayne Hill has to be a little more careful with their fouls.
And also, you have to wonder if this Patriots team might be getting a little tired from just trying to break the press. As the first free throw on the way for O'Hagan, as she knocks it down, despite the chants from the Wayne Hills faithful behind the basket saying, "Boo that girl," a popular chant in the Gifford for boys basketball games. As the second free throw on the way for O'Hagan, Ramapo on top 21-8, 2:05 remaining here in the first half. Just joining us, I'm David Suntup alongside Andrew Gayo and John Vittas. As O'Hagan knocks down the second free throw, Ramapo on top 22-8. As Greenwell looking for someone to pass to, high pass to Sullivan, dribbles across midcourt. Higgins trying to drive baseline as a foul there on Mitchell. As the center for Ramapo picks up the foul.
And two more for Wayne Hills. They'll go to the line for one-on-ones, and one more for Ramapo. They'll go to the line for one-on-ones. So the Patriots have to be very careful on defense because the next foul, Ramapo will go to the line for some bonus free throws.
And as we know from past games, it's the Ramapo team. They might be young in addition to Wayne Hills, but they could shoot the ball from the line. Wills pump fakes, jumper, off the rim, no good. Rebound there by Higgins. Higgins goes up as she is fouled there. I believe the foul will be on number 33, the center for the Green Raiders, Kelly Mitchell. Actually, they're going to call it on Halegian. I knew it was one or the other. So Higgins at the line for a pair of free throws. Hills down 14, a minute 35 remaining in the first half. As Higgins swishes the first free throw.
Well, Dave, I think Wayne Hills is doing what they need to do with good ball movement on that last possession. They don't have to get out of their game plan. It's still early. They're only down 12 now. It's still the first half. The good news about going down early is that you have plenty of time to come back.
As the senior forward knocks down a pair of free throws, draws the Patriots to within 12. A minute 28 here remaining in the first half. Legion uses a screen, goes down low as O'Hagan off the glass for two. As O'Hagan was wide open under the basket as he goes to the bank for the deuce.
And they're going to call another foul on him, whether it's Halegian or O'Hagan. But
that's free throws for Wayne Hills now.
Yes, it is. But the point being is that Wayne Hills is focusing so much on Sarah Halegian that there are other players for Ramapo that are getting wide open and hitting their layups. As we saw right there, the double team on Halegian forces an open Green Raider to score a layup.
And Andrew, you bring up a great point because after the first game between these two teams, there was an article on the record. I couldn't go back in the archives and locate it, but Coach Sandy Garden was talking about how Wayne Hills tried to take Halegian out of the game, but other players stepped up in that game for Ramapo as the first free throw on the way, no good. It's a 1-on-1 situation for the Patriots since Ramapo has 17 fouls. 1:10 remaining in the first half. Wayne Hills trailing Ramapo 24-10. But back to what I was saying, in that first meeting between these two teams here at Ramapo, Anna Drewing had 11 points. Deanna Devonchuk had 6 points. So there are other players on this Ramapo team who are able to put the ball in the basket. Under a minute remaining here at Ramapo Arena, 48 seconds to be exact. Wayne Hills down by 14. As a great pass by Halegian, as an acrobatic layup there by Drewing as she tried to go under the basket. No good, but she'll go on the line for 2.
And that's Will's second foul, too. So Wayne Hills, even though they got 10 points this quarter so far, their defense still is really struggling to stop Ramapo down low.
I mean, besides the fact that the Green Raiders have had open shots on the perimeter, Wayne Hills, they need to tighten up their defense down low. It's the first free throw off the front of the rim. No good. As Sam Litsky will check into the game for Heather Higgins. And Christy Cherub also in for Wayne Hills, replacing Erica Wills. As the second of 2 free throws on the way for Drewing. Wayne Hills down 14, 39.9 seconds here remaining in the first half. As the second free throw also off the front, no good. Rebound there by Bastic as the pass knocked away. Good job there by Litsky again as Litsky falls down. Drewing off the glass, no good. Rebound there by Halegian. 28 seconds remaining. Halegian to Mitchell. Good ball movement by Ramapo as the layup by O'Hagan in and out, no good. As they're going to call a foul.
And Aaron O'Hagan's the foul will be on Ramapo, so it will be free throws for Wayne Hills.
1-and-1 situation here for the Patriots. O'Hagan not happy with the call.
Yeah, but she was grabbing Bridget Greenwald. Even though she fell down, Bridget was the one that boxed her out, so she was wrapping her arms around Bridget.
So Bridget Greenwald, 1-and-1 situation, 22.5 seconds here remaining in the first half. Wayne Hills in an early hole here, 24-10. As the free throw on the way, no good. Rebound there by Ramapo. That's a nice job there by Amanda Scolaci to get the rebound. 15 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. A Legion spin move. Pump fake, Drewing. Drewing, free throw line. Halegian pops a 3. No good, off the glass. Rebound by Bastink as time expires here in the first half as the Wayne Hills Patriots trail the Ramapo Raiders 24-10 here at Ramapo Arena. Guys, thoughts on the first half?
I mean, it was a nightmare overall, but Wayne Hills had some offensive light at the end of the tunnel in the second quarter. So I'm sure Vinny Porter is going to give his team a motivational speech because his team has been down before. This team has handled adversity. So I think that Wayne Hills has enough gas in the tank to come out in the second half and turn this game back into a game.
Yeah, well, I didn't get here till midway through the second quarter, but what I've seen so far is that both teams are fighting hard. It's a state semifinal. You can expect that in the second half, that both teams are going to come out firing. But I think Wayne Hills is just going to have to continue to battle. I think they can afford to stick to their game plan because they're only down by 14. It's not a comeback that's insurmountable, so I'd expect them to come out firing. I think they should run their offense, try to get it down low to Holly Basnick, the senior leader. I think she'll be able to carry the team on her back in the second half.
Well, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for Wayne Hills here in the second half. They're coming into a very hostile environment. This Ramapo team has only lost 1 game here in their own gym. They're 8-1 here. They lost 2 games on the year total, both to Fairlawn by 2 points. So it'll be a tough test here for the Patriots to come back, but they've done it before. And if they want a chance to come back, they're going to need to tighten up their defense, especially down low. Wayne Hills can't allow layup opportunities to Ramapo, and also needs to get Holly Basting involved. But we'll be right back in a moment here at the second half of action at Ramapo Arena. Wayne Hills trails Ramapo 24-10. Stick around.
Welcome back to the Ramapo High School Gymnasium for the North 1 Group 3 State Sectional Semifinal as the visiting Wayne Hills Patriots are taking on the Ramapo Green Raiders, trailing 24-10 at beginning of the second half. I'm Andrew Gayo alongside me, David Suntup, and John Vittas. Wills will be called for the traveling violation to start the second half, not the start Wayne Hills wanted.
Definitely not. Wayne Hills, they probably had at least around 10 turnovers in the first half. Getting the ball to start off the second half, you want to go inside to Basting, get an easy basket, but Wayne Hills, another turnover, not the start that Coach Porter wanted.
It should be interesting to see how Wayne Hills comes out in the second half. If their intensity will be ratcheted up, because hopefully Coach Porter's halftime speech got into the heads of his players and really inspired them to play harder in the second half, because obviously they just didn't get the job done in the first half.
Rebounded there by Greenwald. Finally, a foul will be called on the Green Raiders. It'll be on Scalacci, but Wayne Hills right there gave up 4 consecutive shots without a rebound, so they're going to have to start boxing out. And the unfortunate thing for the Patriots is if they start coming back, there's no shot clock, so Ramapo can take all the time they want on offense.
Well, Andrew, you mentioned rebounding, and that's something Wayne Hills has done really well all year. I've noticed Holly Basting and Bridget Greenwald are excellent at boxing out the opponent, and they're able to get inside and get offensive boards for easy points. And I think they should be really focusing on doing that in the second half.
Another thing that Wayne Hills has to watch out for, especially when you get into the second half, fouls. Erica Wills just picked up her 3rd foul. That could be pretty big for Wayne Hills if she has to sit on the bench.
Klee takes it down low, puts it up, no good. Rebounded by Draywing, kicks it back out to Halegian. Halegian moves the ball to the left to Klee, baseline jumper, rims out. Rebounded once again by Ramapo. Sam Mitchell kicks it out to Klee. Klee over to Draywing to the right side. Picks up a screen, gives it to Halegian. Halegian to Draywing. Draywing in the corner to Klee. Down low to Scalacci. Missed the layup. Back out to Klee. Klee drives to Draywing. Draywing gets fouled there by Lauren Sullivan. So once again, Ramapo will inbound.
Good defense there by Erica Wills coming over to help with the double team. But like you guys mentioned before, Wayne Hills is not getting enough rebounds. Their defense is definitely better. Ramapo not getting the shots that they got earlier, and they're missing some shots.
Missed free throw there by Draywing. That is her 5th missed free throw. She's 0 for 5 from the line, but Lauren Sullivan also had 3 fouls, so the Patriots have to be careful about who's fouling who. Draywing's second free throw is good, so Anna Draywing makes her first free throw to extend Ramapo's lead to 15, 25-10.
Well, Andrew, so far in the second half, Erica Wills and Lauren Sullivan both picked up their 3rd fouls. So Coach Porter's going to probably have to leave one of them in the game for ball handling because they're both guards. So they're going to have to be very careful on the defensive end of not picking up cheap fouls.
Sullivan to Bastanik. Bastanik puts up a jumper, no good. Rebounded by Ramapo. Scalacci gives it up to Draywing, who gives it back to Klee. Klee drives to the center, kicks it to Mitchell. Mitchell, baseline jumper, no good. Rebounded by Greenwald.
And the one thing that I've seen from this Patriots team is as the ball taken away by Ramapo.
Halegian, no good. Good defense there by Bridget Greenwald to stand her ground and not go for the block and send Halegian to the line.
Wayne Hills, they need to clamp up their defense on the blocks. Ramapo players, they're slipping right by the blocks, and they're getting easy layups and easy shots around the basket.
Klee to inbound, finds Halegian outside the 3-point arc. Halegian drives toward the center, tries to pass it down low, but good defense by Wayne Hills forces Ramapo to turn over the ball.
Well, in the last 2 possessions, Wayne Hills' interior defense has really stepped up. Ramapo hasn't been able to get anything inside. They've been looking to post up their center, but nothing's been there. And every time they try to get inside, they've been forced to make bad passes by Wayne Hills.
They can't find an answer for this press either. They kind of look puzzled, I guess you could say. Cherub drives to the hole. It's good. Christy Cherub gets her team back into the contest, cuts the deficit to 13.
A nice drive there to the hole by Cherub, and then Cherub off the glass for the deuce. That's what Wayne Hills needs to do more. They need to be more aggressive and drive to the hole and try to get easier baskets.
Draywing spots for 3, fakes the shot, drives, gives it to Klee. Klee crossover on Heather Higgins, picks up the pick, but intends to give it up instead. Mitchell, turnaround shot is good. Kelly Mitchell with a good turnaround jumper to extend Ramapo's lead to 27-12.
A nice job there by Mitchell, showing some nice range on that jumper. And like I said before, there's other players on this Green Raiders team that could put the ball in the basket besides Halegian. As a good hustle play there by Higgins.
Higgins saves the ball, gets it to Sullivan. Sullivan down low to Greenwald. Greenwald, Cherub, 4-3. No good, rebounded by Heather Higgins. There was contact on the shot, but they're going to call a foul on Higgins as she tried to go for the rebound. They're going to call over the back. So that's going to be on Heather Higgins, and that will be her first foul.
Well, Ramapo has stepped their guards up into a 3-2 zone, forcing Wayne Hills guards to trying to force Wayne Hills guards to commit turnovers. If Wayne Hills can work the baseline and get the ball inside, they'll be able to not let Ramapo work that 3-2 zone effectively.
Halegian gives it to Klee. Klee drives back to Drewing. Drewing, pull-up jumper, no good. Rebounded by Halegian. Halegian, another missed shot, but Scalacci is there. And again, that's the third time that Wayne Hills was unable to pick up the rebound, and it resulted in Ramapo scoring.
There's been about 3 to 4 possessions in this half where Ramapo has gotten multiple offensive rebounds. There's a steal there by Klee.
As Klee stepped out of bounds, so it will be Wayne Hills' ball.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the call was. I wasn't sure if she stepped out of bounds or if there was a foul, but great defense there by the Patriots to force Klee to step out of bounds. I believe that was Heather Higgins on the baseline.
That was good defense by Heather, but now Sam Litsky checks in for her as they need some offense. Greenwald to Sullivan. Sullivan drives to the middle, puts up a shot, no good, rebounded by Mitchell. Pushing it up is Anna Drewing, but she finds 4 Patriots back there. Drewing drives to the hole, gives it to Mitchell, gets blocked there by Bastanik, and now Halegian will take it out for the Green Raiders. Halegian drives to her right, looking for a teammate, gives it out to Klee. Klee drives to the middle, goes up for the shot, and will be fouled. So Samantha Klee will go to the line for 2 free throws.
Ramapo being very aggressive, taking the ball to the basket. And it's not just Halegian. You've seen Klee, we've seen Drewing. There's a lot of players driving to the basket. And if they don't have the open layups, they're trying to get Mitchell involved down low.
Yeah, Wayne Hills has moved their guards back and packed it in down low. And Ramapo's going to have to prove they can make jump shots. Otherwise, that Wayne Hills defense is going to be very successful.
Klee misses her 5th straight free throw. So Ramapo, a usually good free throw team from the line, missing a lot of their free throws today. So maybe that's a strategy Wayne Hills could use to send the Green Raiders to the free throw line. Klee hits on the second, so Ramapo extends their lead to 18, 30-12. Here with 3:28 remaining in the third quarter. Sullivan breaks the press, puts up a layup. No good, rebounded by Klee, but there's a scrum. Ball goes off Klee's foot, so it will retain Wayne Hills' ball.
Getting back to what you're saying about fouling, sure, it might seem like a good strategy, but also keep in mind Sullivan and Wills both with 3 fouls, so Wayne Hills has to be careful in that regard. But Ramapo, usually a good free throw shooting team, not shooting that well today other than Halegian.
Bastanik puts up a pull-up jumper, no good. Rebounded there by Cherub. Another miss by Wayne Hills. As Scalacci's trying to get it out, but Sullivan picks up the ball. And Sullivan's still picking up pressure from Ramapo as they are just persistent. Christy Cherub puts up a layup. It's good. So Wayne Hills comes within 16.
Nice job there by Cherub down low, going off the glass for the deuce. Cherub showing some real toughness there, and she's showing no fear about going to the basket against some taller Ramapo players. As Halegian knocks down the hook shot in the lane.
And Coach Vinny Porter is yelling for his players to put pressure because Wayne Hills needs to start pressuring, because once the fourth quarter comes, if they want any time of a comeback, Ramapo's going to slow the game down as Cherub takes a pull-up jumper. No good. Rebounded by Bastick. She cleans up the garbage, puts it in. 32-16. Wayne Hills has to put the pressure because 2 minutes coming up, and Ramapo's going to go into the stallmate mode in the fourth quarter. Klee out to Scalacci. Scalacci double dribble. So now Wayne Hills will retain possession. Higgins checks back into the game for Lauren Sullivan.
And another thing we haven't mentioned, it's do or die here for both teams. If Wayne Hills loses this game, this will be the last ever game for Holly Bastanik and Heather Higgins. So that could be on the minds of both those players, and it could help energize this team because they know that they want to go on and play another game.
Giedrich and Hogan check back into the game for Ramapo. 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. Wayne Hills down 32-16. Another Wayne Hills turnover, which has been killing them today. Klee drives to the middle, finds a wide open Dre Wing, but she misses the shot, but Erin Hogan will be fouled and go to the line for 2.
Well, Wayne Hills took out their guard, Lauren Sullivan, on that last possession, so Sam Litsky's the only true guard in the lineup for Hills, so she's going to have to handle the point guard duties and rely on the other players like Heather Higgins and Holly Bassling to handle the ball out on top.
First free throw is no good from Hogan. Both teams struggling from the free throw line. Wayne Hills is 2 for 5 from the line, and Ramapo has missed plenty more than I can count at the moment, as the second one is no good. As there's another foul on the play. It's going to be on Ramapo. That's going to be a push on, it's going to be on Erin Hogan. That's her first foul.
And speaking of fouls, one thing to watch out for, especially Wayne Hills. Wayne Hills already 5 team fouls in the second half, and there's still 1:47 here remaining in the third quarter. So ball taken away by Klee.
Put up there by Dre Wing. So Ramapo extends their lead to 34-16. Ramapo 7 for 20 from the free throw line. So as this game progresses, it wouldn't be bad for Wayne Hills to foul, but they need to score. That's most important. And they're going to call a foul there on Erin Hogan. So that's Ramapo's third team foul. That's Hogan's second.
Hogan not happy with the call as the Ramapo fans booing the officiating as Erica Wills back into the game for the Patriots.
That's a good move by Coach Porter. I was about to say I think he should put in a guard, and he did, because like I said before, Litsky was the only guard in the lineup, and Wayne Hills committed 2 turnovers on their last 2 possessions, so a good move by him to get another guard in the game.
Cherub drives to the hole. Smart move by her because the middle was wide open. She'll be fouled and go to the line for 2 shots. And that is, again, on Erin Hogan. That's her third foul in 30 seconds.
Yes, Hogan thought she got all ball there, but Cherub has been very aggressive here. She's been in attack mode in this third quarter, and it's resulted in a few buckets for her, and now a pair of free throws at the line.
Cherub's first free throw is good. Higgins checks in for Bastanik to avoid getting Bastanik's third foul. Cherub, that was her 5th point. She's going for her 6th right now. That would lead the Patriots in points, which is unbelievable at
All
this
in
point
this
in the
half,
game.
I believe.
Second free throw, no good. And it will be Wayne Hill's ball. Smart play there by Heather Higgins to let the ball go out of bounds. And Bastanik's going to check quickly back in for Higgins.
Yeah, they need her on offense, especially if they want any chance. Down 17 with 1:25 here remaining in the third quarter.
Cherub gets the inbound to Wills. Wills to Litsky. Litsky drives down low to Greenwald. Greenwald turnaround jumper is good. Dave, we haven't been here for the year, but Bridget Greenwald's game has definitely evolved.
Especially down low as a back to the basket player. She was a lot more confident with the turnaround jumper or going towards the basket with that pivot foot. So Greenwald really showing off some good post moves in this game.
Yeah, I think senior Holly Bastanik has taken Greenwald under her wing and showed her those low interior moves and how to box out on defense, because they both do a great job of that.
Sam Litsky picked up her third foul. So once again, Wayne Hill's still in foul trouble, and one more foul will send Ramapo to the line for the bonus, but that might not be that bad for Wayne Hills.
It definitely won't be for Wayne Hills. One, it will stop the clock, and there's not much time left in this game, even though we still have a quarter to play, but the quarters are not that long.
Collegian, and it will be over the back foul on Erin Hogan. That's her 4th. One more for Wayne Hills, and they will go to the free throw line for bonus, I believe, unless the scoreboard hasn't changed it yet. I guess not. I guess they need 2 more, so Ramapo has 1 more foul to give.
But another thing I want to bring up, one, it wouldn't be bad for Wayne Hills if Ramapo had to shoot free throws, because one, it would stop the clock, and 2, Ramapo, other than Collegian, they have not shot well at the line.
Greenwald to Bastanik. Bastanik pushing it up, gives it to Wills. Wayne Hills struggling to get the ball past half court. So Wills is going to be called for the traveling violation. 3 Green Raiders were right on top of her. She had nowhere to go.
No, Wills was triple teamed there. Plus, she fell down. She tried to keep up her dribble because when you're on the ground, you can't get back up. But she tried to keep her dribble, but unable to, and the rest called a travel.
Halegian takes it to the right. Getting one-on-one defense with Litsky. Klee, Ramapo will hold for the last shot. Draywing takes it off Cherub. Halegian intelligently takes it back to hold for the last shot. Being covered by Litsky. High screen coming, but Halegian calls it off. Halegian crosses up, pulls up from just inside the free throw line, rattles around, no good. Rebounded by Willis, 4 seconds to go. Wayne Hills needs a desperation shot. Bassett could not get the shot off in time. So at the end of 3 quarters, Wayne Hills trails Ramapo 34-19. And guys, if Wayne Hills wants to come back, they're going to have to score and put on heavy pressure because Ramapo's going to melt the clock down.
Definitely, because like you talked about before, no shot clock in high school basketball. And there have been teams in the past that would just hold the ball for 2 minutes at a time so the other team can't get possession. But Wayne Hills, sure, they did a better job on offense. They got some baskets down low with Cherub and Greenwald, but they just didn't do enough on the boards, especially defensively, to keep Ramapo off the scoreboard. That was their main problem in the third quarter.
Well, the thing that stood out for me in this third quarter was Ramapo's defense. They have a really active 3-2 zone, which they drop back into after they go into the full court press. Wayne Hills' guards are going to have to be able to break that because Ramapo has taken so many possessions away from Wayne Hills in this game. Wayne Hills is going to have to break that, crash the offensive boards, and get themselves as many possessions as they can because, as you guys mentioned, Ramapo is going to be able to burn a lot of time off this clock on offense.
As I am now joined in the broadcast booth by the sports journalist for the Wayne Today, Rich Stambulian. And Rich, I know it's been a long time since you've been interviewed by me, but Andrew and I back once again home on our college spring breaks, broadcasting Wayne Hills girls basketball against Ramapo. But Rich, Wayne Hills didn't get off to a good start, and they've struggled throughout the afternoon here at Ramapo. If you're Coach Porter, what do you tell your team going into the fourth quarter?
You know, we're still in it. Got 8 minutes to go. You know, they're looking at do or die here. Unfortunately, they can't take back the first period, which was just a disaster for them. So they just got to, you know, give it everything they have, and hopefully they get, you know, shut out Ramapo and score 15 points and tie it up.
This is a very young Wayne Hills team. No one expected them to be at this, playing in this game at this point in the season.
Right.
What's the main reason why this Patriots team has been able to defy the odds and go on a nice state tournament run?
Well, I think they really matured the second half of the season, and they've really played as a team. The best example of that was the game they played the other night up in Lakeland when they pulled, you know, a huge upset. So, I mean, they've beaten 2 teams that were higher seeds than them, and tonight is maybe just a little bit too much to ask for them.
Rich, thank you very much for joining us once again. Rich Stambulian, sports columnist for the Wayne Today, is now give it back to Andrew Gayo for the play-by-play duties.
Cherub picks up the missed layup by Litsky to cut the deficit to 13. And Wayne Hills once again has to apply the pressure quickly. Halegian takes it up for Ramapo. In the corner to Klee. Klee to Scalacci. Back to Klee. Up to Draywing. Draywing fakes the spot. Good defense there by Wayne Hills. Cherub takes it up for the Patriots. As she's going to go to the line for 2 shots. And Wayne Hills, all of a sudden, the younger kids are providing the spark that they desperately need. Especially
Christy Cherub coming off the bench, and she scored all of her points here in the second half. And she's playing like she really wants to play with a lot of fire and passion. She's just taking the ball to the basket with no fear. The winner of this game will face the winner of Teaneck and Passac Valley on Monday, March 9th at 8 o'clock at Bayonne High School.
Cherub's first free throw, no good, so Kelly Mitchell, checks back in for the Green Raiders, and Lauren Sullivan checks back for the Patriots. Cherub's second free throw on the way. Cherub makes the second one, so Wayne Hills cuts the deficit 34-22.
and Cherub, only a freshman, and it's just incredible that someone like that could come into a very intense environment like Ramapo Arena and put up the kind of game that she's put out there today.
And Sandy Gordon wisely takes a timeout to settle things down, and she's going to tell her team to slow it down because even though her team they obviously want to continue to score, the smart move would be to slow the game down.
Yeah, it's a good move by Ramapo's coach there to call a timeout because Wayne Hills is slowly creeping back into it. Their defense has tightened up, and the Ramapo hasn't had the holes that they had earlier in the game. And Wayne Hills, if they get steals and get out in transition ahead of Ramapo's great defense, they should be able to put more points up on the board. So I think that's what the Ramapo coach is telling her girls in this timeout.
Full timeout taken by Ramapo. And the PA announcer is giving the timeout situation as Wayne Hills has 1:30 left and 2 full timeouts. And Ramapo has two 30s and 2 full timeouts left. So the timeout situation is pretty good for both teams as Ramapo has the advantage with 1 more remaining. But still, despite they're down by 12, Wayne Hills right now is playing exactly the way they wanted to start this 4th quarter.
They came off a lot of fire and energy. They're taking the ball to the basket, getting layups. If they're not getting layups, they're getting fouled, they're getting to the line. They want to control the tempo here. When you're on the road in a tough environment, you want to play your game at your pace. And that's what Wayne Hills is finally doing here. Ramapo, they haven't been as good offensively as they were in the first half. Maybe it's because Wayne Hills has fixed their defense down low. Maybe it's because this Patriots team has finally calmed down. I don't know what the reason is, but Wayne Hills starting to chip away here a little bit, but it might be a little bit too late.
Scalacci to inbound. Finds Halegian, who will be covered by Sullivan. Sullivan has 3 fouls. Halegian doing her signature turnaround crossover. Halegian picks up a screen, pulls it to the right side, out to Draywing. Draywing fakes the 3, drives to the center, takes a layup, no good, rebounded by Bridget Greenwald, and here comes the Wayne Hills offense. Wills will take it up for Wayne Hills. Gives it up to Cherub. Cherub. Wills to Lauren Sullivan. Wills drives. It's going to be stolen there by Draywing. Christy Cherub comes across, and she'll foul Draywing and go to the line. Smart foul there by Cherub.
You just took the words out of my mouth. I was just going to say the exact same thing. Cherub, you have to foul in that situation. Good court intelligence there, especially by a young player like Cherub, because 1, you stop the clock, and 2, Ramapo has struggled mightily at the line all game except for Halegian. And especially Draywing. She's been, well, she made that free throw, but she's been hitting the front rim on almost every foul shot.
2 for 7 from the line is Draywing. Now the Green Raiders 8 for 21, I believe, from the line. Makes both of them, so just as we say that, Ramapo connects on both free throws. And Cherub will unable to get the long pass down court from Bastanik. Smart play there by Holly. It's just unfortunate that Wayne Hills could not convert.
That's a turn of events Wayne Hills couldn't afford right there. Having Draywing hit 2 free throws for Ramapo, and then making an immediate turnover on offense. They didn't even give their guards a chance to make something happen. But I think those are the chances Wayne Hills are going to have to take. They're going to have to take risks and go for things on defense, go for steals, and on offense have quick possessions, but still try to get off quality shots.
Uncharacteristic as Halegian puts up a 3. No good. Rebounded there by Mitchell. She boxed out Bastanik. I don't know why Ramapo had the ball down there when Wayne Hills threw the ball on the other side of the court. I'm not exactly sure why that happened.
Yeah, Coach Porter not happy with the officials because of their apparent
Clee
mistake.
steps on. Sorry, David. Clee steps on the line, so it'll be a backcourt violation. David, continue what you were saying.
Yeah, Coach Porter was a little upset with the call there because of what you were just saying, that Ramapo got to inbound the ball right under the basket instead of where the ball went out of bounds.
Litsky checks into the game for Lauren Sullivan. Patriots down 14 with just above 5 minutes left in the game. Litsky to Cherub. Cherub gives the ball to Wills. In the corner to Litsky. Passes it center. Wills recovers the ball. Wills drives baseline. Gets triple teamed. Bridget Greenwald puts up a jumper. No good. Rebounded Halegian. Halegian running the fast break. puts up a shot. No good, rebounded by Cherub. And she's going to be fouled there by Amanda Scalacci. So Wayne Hills is going to go to the free throw line.
And Scalacci not happy with the call. She thought she got elbowed there by Cherub. But on that last play, smart defense there by Sam Litsky, not fouling Halegian. And she threw off Sarah Halegian's layup there as Halegian missed the easy layup. So a shot that she would normally make with no problem.
No, Greenwald boxed out. Excuse me, Cherub boxed out. So Scalacci was actually wrapping her arms around her. So the elbows had nothing to do with the foul. Cherub's first free throw is good. And Dave, this girl may be 14, 15 years old, but she's playing like a seasoned veteran.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, knocking down key free throws like right now, showing no fear in going to the hole against these Ramapo players. She's going to be quite a player as she continues to grow and get more experience.
Mitchell with the rebound as Cherub's second free throw is no good. So Ramapo will bring it up from right to left. Drewing puts out the hand check. No call by the officials. Klee in the corner. Back to Klee. Klee brings it up. Getting covered by Wills. Good pressure by the Patriots.
Wayne Hills,
sorry, Dave.
Wayne Hills could really use a turnover here. Only 4:25 here remaining in the fourth quarter. The Patriots really need to go on a run if they want a chance in the end.
And here goes Ramapo in that stalemate deep offense, working the ball around. Klee brings it back out to Halegian. Halegian drives. But Halegian's, even though she's one of the younger, she's probably one of the smartest players on the court because she knows, she's played in big games in her career. She knows it's essential to melt the clock down. It's more important than scoring points. As a foul there will be called on Lauren Sullivan. That is her fourth. But they had no other choice. They had to foul.
Yeah, especially in high school basketball where, like we've said before, there's no shot clock. Teams can just hold the ball for minutes at a time as long as they don't turn it over. So a smart decision there by Coach Porta in the Patriots to foul there. But like talking about Halegian and the rest of this Ramapo team, for that matter, they played in a huge game on Sunday, defeating St. Mary's for the Bergen County Championship. And Ramapo was down the fourth quarter of that game, but Halegian showed great poise. The team didn't give up. She didn't seem rattled. She became more aggressive, scored 12 of her 17 points in the fourth quarter. So this team has been there before in big games, and albeit Ramapo might be young, but they're also very battle-tested.
They are very battle-tested as Wayne Hills burns a 30-second timeout, so they have 2 full timeouts left. So Wayne Hills definitely needs to come out of these free throws by boxing out, but Halegian for the night is actually 1 for 2 from the line. So she hasn't been to the free throw line much, but has over her first 2 years, she's a very good free throw shooter.
Well, for Wayne Hills, I think this is where scouting comes in because you can't really judge a girl's free throw shooting based on one game. So if they did any research on this team, I think that'll come in handy here as they're going to have to select players to foul.
And these two teams have certainly met enough over the last years. The sixth meeting between these two teams the last years is Ramapo trying to go for the sweep once again.
Halegian makes both free throws to extend Ramapo's lead back to 15. Wayne Hills has to start playing catch up very soon, as another 5-second violation is called on Wayne Hills. Unable to use her timeouts because they need to save those last 2 for the last minute or 2. Ramapo pulls it out. Wills being very aggressive, tipped up by Higgins. Klee takes it. They know that they're going to have to foul. No foul called there as Sullivan blatantly pushed.
And Sullivan, she has 5 fouls, so
4.
Well, 4. So I was thinking NBA. My bad. She has 4 fouls, so Wayne Hills would prefer if someone else could give a foul.
Ramapo actually looking kind of sloppy moving the ball around, but they just can't. Wayne Hills is not quick enough to get to the other side. It's almost frustrating to watch as a wide open layup is made there by Scalacci, as Wayne Hills is just looking very confused in stopping this Ramapo offense. It's almost as if they're outmatched.
Well, Wayne Hills, they had two players going to whoever had the ball, trying to either force a turnover or foul, but Ramapo, I believe it was Mitchell. I believe she was right under, it was Mitchell or Scalacci. One of them was right under the basket on the left block, wide open.
It was Scalacci. And one reason why Wayne Hills is down by 17, the woman who just ran into the stands, Holly Bastanek, has 4 points on the night. She has been absolutely quiet. Nobody has been covering. Excuse me, Ramapo has just covered her like white on rice. As a wide open layup made there by Draywing, and it almost looks like Wayne Hills has given up.
Yeah, those last two possessions, Ramapo couldn't have had easier layups than those two. As another turnover there by the Patriots.
Halegian takes it up the court. As Ramapo now up by 19. Wide open again was Kelly Mitchell down low, but Willis will bring it up for the Patriots. Willis puts up a short jumper, no good. Rebounded by Willis, gets her own, puts it up, and quickly Coach Porter calls a timeout, as now they're going to have to play foul and go.
As Erica Wills has also had a quiet afternoon for the Patriots, but a nice job there, hitting the jumper from the left elbow. She got the roll. But look, I know it's going to be tough for Wayne Hills to come back. I mean, pretty much, unless they go on an incredible run and get every steal, this game is pretty much over. But I don't want this thing to slip under the crack. Holly Bastink has had an incredible 4 years playing basketball for the Wayne Hills Patriots. This team has made the state tournament every year. Bastink scored her 1,000 point a few weeks back, which is just an incredible achievement for anyone who ever has the honor of putting on a basketball uniform. That should be any player's goal coming into high school. The team has made states all 4 years, including 2 runs to the Northland Group 3 state sectional semifinal game. And while I have a moment, I'd like to give you tonight's trivia question, which is brought to you by Wayne Hills High School. Study hard, get good grades. The question is, when was the last time that this Patriots team has won a state sectional championship? Answer coming up shortly.
To elaborate on your point on Bastnik, no, she's definitely been a part of the turnaround. We were talking before the game that this team was, the program was nothing. I mean, for years, before Vinny Porta, the head coach was Bill Percy. And Bill Percy's first year, the team went 0-20 back in 2000. So the program has definitely come a long way. They've made the state tournament the past 5 years. And they've won
ever since our freshman year.
They've won at least 13 games over that stretch. So over this time period, the Patriots, Wayne Hills girls basketball has been back and put on the map.
And let's not forget, Holly Bastanek has been a first-team all-county selection in Passaic County the last 2 seasons, and I would think that would stay the same this year.
Rebounded there by Bastanek, as Wayne Hills has to push it up down 17. Blocked there by Halegian, as Wills' shot goes out of bounds, so now Wayne Hills will inbound.
And let's not forget about the other senior on this Patriots squad, Heather Higgins. I know she's made big contributions to this team this year. I mean, with leadership, with outside shooting, defense. This could be her last game here, too, if Wayne Hills loses. So let's not forget all the contributions that she's made to the program also.
Halegian brings it up. Ramapo just trying to melt the clock down. Halegian, 4 Patriots actually going after her. Finally a foul by Sam Litsky with 1:42 remaining here in the contest.
Well, you guys talked about the achievements of Heather Higgins and Holly Bastnik especially, but I think it's worth mentioning that after this game's over, their Wayne Hills athletic careers are not over. Both of them will hit the softball field as tryouts have been underway this weekend. So they'll both be playing softball in the spring season as well as Erica Wills, who's the star pitcher for the team.
Definitely they are versatile athletes, as Halegian's first free throw is no good.
Yeah, Bastink and Higgins, both first-team all-county selections for Passaic County for softball last year. So they're all very talented athletes.
Halegian has 13 points on the afternoon to lead the Green Raiders. Halegian's second free throw is no good, so she misses them both. Very uncharacteristic. Litsky trying to push the tempo. Drives to the hole. Shots blocked. And Ramapo will retain possession. They're going to call a foul, I believe, on Sullivan. Or it's Christy Cherub, not sure.
I think it's on.
It is on Sullivan, I believe.
Yes, on Sullivan. That's her 5th.
Yeah, so she'll have to exit the game. That is her 5th. So Heather, I believe Heather Higgins will check back in now for the Patriots.
Just a tough afternoon all around for this Wayne Hills team. Coming into the game, everyone knew that they were going to have to play a flawless basketball game to beat this Ramapo team that's only lost 2 games all year. Both those losses to the Fairlawn Cutters. I guess their lawn mowing equipment not up to par. But Wayne Hills is going to have to play a perfect game here this afternoon. They just came out flat, turned the ball over too much, couldn't get the ball down to Bastink, couldn't knock down the shots from the outside. But this is a Ramapo team that's just had an incredible year, and they will still have another chance to capture another championship, as the free throw there missed by Mitchell. Ramapo already won the Bergen County Championship, and if they win another game after this, they will play either Passack Valley or Teaneck. They will be the Northland Group 3 state champions.
And they beat Passack Valley in the Bergen County Jamboree. Look, I want to say the semifinals. So Ramapo has already beaten them once.
Actually, it was during the
Twice.
regular season.
Well, they also beat them in the Bergen County Jamboree. So, well, they also beat Passack Hills as well. So they beat.
Actually, you're correct, Andrew. I'm sorry about that.
Wayne Hills will bring it up. Wills to Litsky. Litsky 4-3. No good. Rebounded Bastink. Bastink puts it up a little too late. So Wayne Hills cuts it to 16. Ramapo puts up the shot. No good. Foul there. Shot was put up by number 2 for the Green Raiders, Jackie Verga, a senior. So Coach Sandy Gordon putting in her seniors that didn't see much time today. So now Erica Wills will go to the foul line for Wayne Hills.
And I do have to give a credit to the Wayne Hills fans for making the short trip over here to Ramapo as Holly Bastink checks out of the game. Not sure if it's for the last time in her career or not. I don't know if they'll put her back in.
Pretty sure they'll put her back in. I think this is just for defensive purposes, so she doesn't want to pick up another foul.
That's what I was thinking too.
Coach
Andrew.
Porter still wants to win this game. He's playing to the last buzzer, and I respect that. Wills makes the first free throw. She'll take the second one. And she converts. So here comes the press. And there's going to be a foul there on Heather Higgins. So number 25 for the Green Raiders, Deanna Devinchik, will go to the foul line.
And Bastink back in for the Patriots. Or she will check back in after this free throw.
Devinchuk, the first free throw is good as Bastinik checks back in.
And while I have a moment, I'd like to give you the answer to tonight's trivia question, which is brought to you by Wayne Hills High School. Study hard, get good grades. The question was, when was the last time that this Wayne Hills team has won a state sectional championship? And, well, it's a trick question because they have never won a state sectional championship. The farthest they have gotten is the state semifinals.
Litsky 4-3, no good. Rebounded by Devenchik. She'll give it up. Wayne Hill still pressuring. Jackie Verga puts up the layup. It's good as the arena explodes.
As the Ramapo faithful happy for one of their seniors to get a bucket. But back to what I was saying about the trivia question. The furthest Wayne Hills has ever gotten the state tournament is the state semifinals.
They've made it to the final before that, but they've never won a final before. So,
Okay, back before my time. See, that's why you're here, Andrew, giving me all the expertise.
number 13 connects Erin O'Hagan as this game has gotten out of hand now. 20 points with 20 seconds remaining. Litsky puts up a shot. It's blocked. It'll go out of bounds, and it will be Ramapo ball. And I'm assuming Coach Porter will lay off and let Ramapo just run out the clock. But no, he sticks indeed with the press. He'll check in for Bastanik.
It is interesting that both coaches are still having their teams go 100% at this point in the game with Ramapo up 20 and just 14 seconds left. But as the seniors now check out for Wayne Hills, Heather Higgins and Holly Bastanik, great careers for both of them.
Taking them out in respect. Brought up there by Ramapo. Puts up a shot, no good. Rebounded there by Greenwald. 7 seconds remaining now, and it'll be a jump ball. Possession hour isn't fair to Wayne Hills, so Wayne Hills will get one last chance to score possibly. Ramapo finally out of their press. Wills brings it up to Cherub. And that will be the end of the game as the final buzzer expires. Ramapo advances to the sectional championship game as they defeat the Wayne Hills Patriots 49-29 here at the Ramapo Gymnasium. Guys, if not for the terrible first quarter by the Wayne Hills Patriots, this game could have been different.
Wayne Hills, from the first quarter on, played a much better game. Ramapo still would have won by 4 if you're counting the last 3 quarters, but the Patriots start to get inside more with Greenwald and Cherub. They did a better job on defense. Ramapo didn't knock down as many outside shots, but the Raiders still had open opportunities on the blocks. But the one thing in the second half that really plagued the Patriots was rebounding. Ramapo just got too many offensive rebounds, and this is a very good Ramapo team. Wayne Hills, they had a great season, 17-11, made it to the semifinals of the county and the state tournaments. Nothing to hang their heads on this year for Coach Porta and the Patriots.
Well, Dave, as you mentioned a few times tonight, rebounding was the big difference in this game, as well as interior scoring. Wayne Hills has been able to take advantage of that all year, but Ramapo's interior players were able to neutralize that, and they were pretty even down low, with maybe even Ramapo having the edge, but Wayne Hills' guards weren't able to make up for that loss, and they just couldn't handle the pressure of a big game, in my opinion. But I think I had the pleasure of calling Thursday night's great state game between the Wayne Hills boys basketball team and West Milford, and that game had a similar feel. The gym was packed as well in that game, and Wayne Hills lost as well. So it's a similar feeling we get of disappointment. But Wayne Hills on this team only loses 2 seniors, although they do lose a 1,000-point scorer with Holly Bastanik. I think next year they'll come back and reload. They have a lot of young players, sophomores, freshmen, like starters like Erica Wills, Lauren Sullivan, Sam Litsky, Christy Cherub. So they'll be back in force next year, and they should be able to threaten good teams down the stretch in playoff matchups such as this.
Definitely, and give your kudos to Holly Bastanik and Heather Higgins for their careers, John. But let's look over some point totals for Ramapo. Anna Draywing finished with 10 points, and Sarah Halegian finished with 14. And we talked before the game, you weren't here, but I mentioned that it was important for Halegian to be shut down, and 14's not a lot, but it was a little too much for the Patriots to handle.
Yeah, no question about that. Halegian, a great North Jersey basketball player. A lot of talk about her. And I'm sure coming into this game, Coach Porter made a point of trying to shut her down, but they couldn't really contain Halegian. She had the ball in her hands for a good part of this game. But I believe she's a sophomore. Is that right, Andrew? Sophomore. So she'll be back the next couple years. I'm sure I'll see much more of her, as Wayne Hills will probably play Ramapo several times in the future. But what they can take out of this game is that they played hard, and it's been a very, very successful season for them, getting to the state semifinals, a great accomplishment. So you can only expect greater things in the future.
Yes, we can, especially because despite Ramapo's fantastic record, they're still a very young team. I mean, I can count here forever, but I believe they have close to 10 sophomores on this roster. So the good years are still to come for these Green Raiders.
Yeah, no doubt. There could be a great rivalry. Although the football rivalries died down a bit with Ramapo's football team not playing up to par with Wayne Hills in the last few years, but I think it could be a little bit be revived here by girls basketball, because both of these teams are great and they're going to be great for years to come.
10 sophomores on the roster. But let's talk a little bit more about the home team for us, I guess you could say, Wayne Hills. 49-29. They came out in a funk in the first quarter, but I think still you got to give this team credit. They made a team that lost in the first round of the state playoffs last year, lost a bunch of seniors, and we're not really expected to do as well this year. They made it to the semifinals of the county tournament for the first time in quite some time, and they made it to the semifinals of North 1 Group 3, so I'd say this year was definitely a success.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. This year they got key contributions from younger players, especially freshmen like Cherub and Litsky. They could not have expected that. And like I said, they just have a young team. They'll be back next year, and they'll be a force to be reckoned with in the NBIL.
Definitely a force to be reckoned with. They went 8-8 in the NBIL this year. Ramapo went 14-2 in the NBIL, and that wasn't even good enough to win the NBIL. So it just goes to show you how powerful the league is. Fairlawn went 14-2 as well, beating Ramapo twice. So the league definitely has not watered down whatsoever.
No, I'm not 100% sure that the NBIL will be back next year with the same teams that we saw this year. But I think Wayne Hills, no matter what league they're in, they'll be a presence, and they should have a winning record, and maybe get back here into the state semifinals. That'll be great if they're able to do that next year.
Like I said before, Wayne Hills, the number 10 seed in this bracket. They already beat two higher-seeded teams in Sparta, and then going on the road and beating Lakeland, who was the number 3 seed in this bracket. So nothing to be ashamed of for the Patriots.
They were the 2 seed, actually.
Ramapo was the 3 seed. All right, my mistake on that one. But Wayne Hills, nothing to be ashamed of. They had a great season. They have a bright future with Coach Porter. Will be his second year at the helm next year. And you saw today, Christy Cherub, Erica Wills, among others, Bridget Greenwald, Lauren Sullivan will all be back next year. So this Patriots team, the future is definitely very high for this team. And if they keep working hard and playing together, they need to work on rebounding and defense. Those are the big things, and especially breaking the press. I bet Coach Porter will definitely go over that with this team in training camp next year after this game.
Definitely, future is bright for both these teams. 10 sophomores on Ramapo's roster. Wayne Hills also very young, so the future is bright for both these teams. And I just want to give out congratulations to Wayne Hills making it to the semifinals of the county tournament and semifinals of state sectional tournament. So good job for them. Also, a couple thank yous. Thank you to Mr. Jim Hoekstreet for letting me and Dave come back to announce this game on our college spring break. Kind of forced because he didn't have any announcers, but we feel good doing it anyway. And just thank you to Ramapo for letting us come into this cozy environment and doing this game. So congratulations to both teams. Good luck to Ramapo in the North 1 Group 3 final against the winner of Teaneck versus Packard Valley Monday, 8 o'clock versus Bayonne. For David Suntup, John Vittas, our cameraman Kyle Kattine, and our advisor, Mr. Jim Hoekstreet, I'm Andrew Gayo. Have a good night, folks.